Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Well, hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week. Kelvin's over here drinking a mimosa.
Cheers,
What?
baby. Cheers.
You all ready to go?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot I didn't have to pretend I was there. Fuck you.
Ah!
It's been a long week, okay?
Yes.
I know.
No.
Mama could use one.
So we've really been pumping out, the podcast, promoting it on the on-air show. So by the way, if you want to ever listen to anything from our on-air show that we do, like Queen City Confessions, anything like that, Blown Off, just type in Miguel and Holly's Blown Off or Miguel and Holly Full Show, wherever you listen to podcasts, or on the iHeartRadio app. We're going to get to the discussion about Harry Styles and his queerbaiting debate.
Yeah, let's do that.
But first, we need to recap Pride. Noemi just checking in on Facebook, Miguel and Holly Facebook, where we're streaming. Janeth checking in on the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel. Charlotte Pride. Laura Top Life just said, I came into a fuck you. That's how the podcast would begin.
That's right.
Lynette said, good morning, guys. Love the mimosa. God, I wish Zinda said hello. Doai said happy Wednesday. I wish that there was a way where we could do the podcast where we could have like mimosas and stuff, but then
I
like
was just going to say, why don't we have a drunk podcast?
the rest of the day though, like
It would have to be on a weekend.
Weekend special.
It would have to be a special edition, like Saturday midday podcast.
Juicy little tidbit checking in. Say, hey, good people.
Juicy.
Hi, girl.
Yeah, we should do that. We should have done that when you were here this weekend.
Yes, we should have.
We should have on like
We didn't come up with that until just now, so
yeah.
figure that out.
Well, that's fine. Well, one day we'll have to do a live. I mean, well, you know what? Here's the thing with podcasting now. We can even just do it from our homes.
Yeah, that's what it would be, I believe.
And then we could like separately, like I could be at my house and Holly, you yours, and Kelvin at yours, and we all just have mimosas and we can stream it on StreamYard. It just won't sound like it does if you listen to the podcast, but I think that's okay.
It'll just sound a little like not as professional, maybe.
Right. But I mean, let's be honest. Most people that do podcasts that aren't in a studio, a radio station, they don't sound like this.
Right.
No,
Like,
so
If they're in
we're
an
fine.
open space.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
fine.
and getting drunk.
all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what we'll do? Let's try to organize a weekend podcast that will
That
do
is
it.
giving me like pandemic vibes.
Yes.
I miss
absolutely.
those
Which-
days.
I'll be absolutely honest. I absolutely do miss those. So
Yes.
we should do that.
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll organize one for September. We'll pick a date in September that
September's
we'll
not
do
going to work. I don't think September's going to work. Wait!
that. All right, never mind.
Labor Day weekend might work.
Ooh, that'll be fun. A little Monday.
Labor Day weekend would work.
Okay. All right, that's fine. We can do that. Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's plenty of days to pick from. You could do Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, I don't know. Plan on probably not getting too turned up on Monday because then I got to,
I mean, I could drink a couple glasses of champagne, and be fine for work the next day.
Yeah, but then my kid's coming home in the evening.
Oh.
And I just
yeah.
want to make sure I'm okay. Like, I have to be very stringent. Like, I have a couple of glasses and then, like,
Well,
sweat
what's
it
the
out.
point of a drunk podcast if you're not gonna get drunk?
Well, then maybe not Monday. I'm just saying. Like, I got a parent later.
Parent schmerit. Jeez.
I know. It's difficult.
What about but then I don't want to. I think there's a drag brunch on Labor Day weekend. So I wanted
Which
to
day?
do actually we can have the pick of the litter because normally I only do drag brunches on Saturday because you obviously work on Monday.
Mhm.
So we can pick whichever day works best for you, and then I can pick the opposite day for the drag brunch. Boom.
Yeah, and I could do
Period.
probably either day. I just got to talk to my person. I don't like we're not doing anything. But I don't know if we had planned on because we're catching up with the new House of the Dragon. Thanks, Kelvin. Swirling his mimosa.
No, because Amy Gordon said, "What you drinking over there?" A mimosa.
Kelvin.
Yeah. So I just got to figure out if we do have a plan forming, because we're gonna catch up on House of the Dragon over Labor Day weekend. That's the type of plans I'm talking about. But
I know. I'm like, are y'all
shouldn't-
going to Busch Gardens? Are you going to Sarasota? Are you going to Orlando? Like, where are you going?
You're going to the backyard.
She's still in quarantine.
We're just
Probably never left quarantine.
We're just laying low. We're just saving money. We're just chilling right now. So that's okay.
Shannon said, Kelvin, take the sticker off the bottom of the glass. Listen, the person that brought mimosas in, you can see people behind me in the video. They're just like looking over my shoulder.
The whole team.
Brent Holmes said, Kelvin, where's mine?
In Charlotte, North Carolina, mama. Come through.
Yeah, I'm asking the same thing, Brent. Don't worry.
All right. Noemi said, guys, I was going to ask you if you're watching House of the Dragon. We need to have a weekly recaps like we used to for Game of Thrones back in the 2018 days. We used to do that. But Holly, you're waiting until Labor Day weekend to catch up on the ones that have been aired since then.
Yeah. And that's just to give us something to do. Because I have a hard time watching stuff anyway, like that late at night on a weeknight. And I used to do it, but now I'm like, it's almost too much of a rush. And I don't mind holding off on a show till the following weekend because it's gives me something to look forward to that I want to watch. So I'm going to stockpile the first couple of weeks of House of the Dragon and then binge them on Labor Day weekend.
Streaming changed the game for all of that. Just watching a new episode, it's not really a big deal. Maybe it is for the Twitter community.
Yes.
But that's it, really.
And depending on how big the show gets, I don't really know. I have high expectations, but I don't want them to be too high because then I'll be upset. Right. But if it gets to be a situation where some turn into must-see TV, and I would say one of those would be like Handmaid's Tale. I started out, let's save up a couple of these. And there's two reasons. One, they're so I want to watch them as it comes out but also for Handmaid's Tale, I can't watch more than one episode at a time.
It's a lot. Too much. There's a term that they coined. If you binge watch Handmaid's Tale, it's, oh God, it was something like self-cutting TV or emotional cutting. It's it
is masochistic.
Yeah, they coined a term for if what happens if you watch Handmaid's Tale, if you binge watch it, because it makes you so depressed, but so good.
It just makes you feel things.
I was driving one time and I had binged it all last year. And I would see women outside walking. I'd be like, oh, they're not wearing their red coat. I swear to God. I was like,
you're living in fucking Gilead.
Yes.
No, we don't want
which is bad.
Serena Joy coming over. Yeah, no. So I can't binge watch that one. And House of the Dragon may be the same, but I want to at least do the first few episodes.
I mean, I will say that I think that you two should at least watch the first episode because one of the things that you'll do, because Abe and I just watched it. Obviously, I ain't watching at 9:00 on a Sunday. We watched it yesterday. But no, just watch it the next day after it premieres. But you are because it takes place 172 years before the Game of Thrones that we know.
Mm-hmm.
That's very specific.
So you keep trying to make these connections because they do have these little sort of throwbacks to the original. And so you're okay, so if they're saying that, does that mean that transpired 172 years ago? So I feel you have to get that out of your system with the first episode, read a couple of reviews about it. And then once you're okay, got it. I need to just totally think of it as its own entity and not try to connect about what's going to happen with the White Walkers and all that stuff, 172 years from now. So my suggestion would be watch the first episode now, digest it, and then let the next 3 weeks or however many weeks that is, and then binge them on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, but it's not that many weeks. It's so I got this weekend, and then it's Labor Day weekend.
True.
So I just wanted to save them so I have something to watch on Labor Day.
Okay, or just watch them all. Just watch them then. That's fine. I was just saying that, like,
I get it. What we'll do is probably watch it and then take a minute, maybe watch something else in between, and then have one to go right back into.
Yeah.
Read the reviews, like you said, whatever. One night, one another night, but that way it's there. And that's what we do. Like, I will watch Only Murders in the Building on Friday nights. I know it comes out Tuesday. Ain't watching shit on Tuesday. Sorry about you. So about Friday, that's my comedy date with Selena Gomez and Steve Martin and Martin Short. It's a delight. That show is just such a little delight.
We just finished watching P Valley, the show I've been talking about, and it's just the acting, the different storylines about Black culture and about masculinity and about femininity and what it means to come back from a tortured past. It's just such an underrated, brilliantly acted and written show.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch it. It's what?
P Valley on Stars.
What does the P stand for?
Well, so it all takes place at the strip club called The Pank.
Oh.
But it's lovingly referred to in town as Pussy Valley.
Okay.
Oh.
That'll do it.
Yeah, and it's Chucalissa, Mississippi. It's a fake town.
All right.
But I mean, even Abe got into it because he watched it because it was one of the times he was out of town and he came home and I was watching and he's like, what the hell? What are you watching? What are these strippers? And especially like the second season takes place during the pandemic. And so they can't have people in the strip club in the core of it. And so they're literally having guys go through this like car wash drive-through and the girls are like dancing and I mean, it's so interesting, but like it's how they have to adapt to a new way of life. And that's a big part of the first beginning of the second season, but he got into it, so into it, but we just watched the season finale, but it is a fascinating show, P Valley.
Okay.
I haven't seen crap.
You said what?
I haven't seen anything. I watched The Bear. I finished it. But it was short.
That's a thing.
That was good.
Short.
That was good. It was
good.
short.
It was intense.
Yeah.
Highlighted a lot about mental health. Maybe I'll
I
never
gotta
be a
read
chef.
Yeah, that's what I read about it. I haven't watched it yet, though. I'll put that on my list.
I like trash reality TV.
That's your thing.
I used to love reality TV. And then like 5 or 6 years ago, whenever Holly and I both got out of love with Big Brother, I don't know what it was. It was just like, it just couldn't hold my attention anymore.
That's all I watch. Big Brother and Drag Race. Which like, I feel like, Holly, you would love Drag Race. Just because
I would.
You love just like any kind of fun comedy, acting, silliness, goofiness.
I think I would like it a
fashion.
lot. I should really get on it. I'll write that one down.
All-Star 7 was great. I think that was a quality season.
But where would you jump in on RuPaul's Drag Race? Because I feel like that would be hard. Because I know like the first like 5 seasons, and that's when I kind of got out of it. And now I feel bad when, you, Kelvin, are younger. And you'll be like, what about this new girl or this new girl? And I'm like, ooh, what about Latrice from like the first couple seasons? Like, I know those girls.
Well, Latrice was on All-Stars 4. They brought her back.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's really cool when they bring back queens like this recent All-Star 7. They brought back season 3 winner, Raja. And now she's got a whole new fan base because of her being on that. The same thing with Pandora Box. She was on All-Stars 5, I think, or 6. So they bring back some of the old queens. But my favorite season so far is season 5 and season 6. Season 5, you get a lot of the fashion queens and a really strong alliance. And then season 6, you get Bianca Del Rio, which is one of the most iconic, funniest, best winners that the show has ever had. So season 5 and season 6 are good core seasons to start. Everything else is kind of like, whatever.
That's
whatever.
okay. Good to know.
Holly's not going to watch it.
I have it, though, and it is good to know.
By the way, Holly, she said, all right, I've got it down.
She did not write that down. Let me see that. Let me see that paper. Let me see that paper right now.
All right. Look right here.
Look at how small it's written down.
I wrote Drag Race. I wrote P Valley.
She didn't watch none of them goddamn
She didn't write it. She didn't even write it. Let me zoom in. I can't see. Looks like it says dragon.
That's Drag Race.
Dragon Valley.
Drag Race, P-Valley.
Dragon Ball Z.
The bear, which looks like the beach. I don't know.
Have you ever done that before when like you're talking to whoever and like, all right, would you like to write this number or confirmation number down? And you're like, all right, cool. And you just pretend to write it. And you're like, I hope to God they don't go, do you want to repeat that back just to make sure you have it?
Oh my God, no, I've never pretended. I either say, no, I don't need it, or I legit go get my notes out and I take notes. I hate that.
No, I pretend to write it every time. And I'm just like waiting for the one time.
Everyone's time. You're wasting yours and theirs.
I'm like, it's just involuntary. Yeah, sure, okay. And then I'm just like writing in the air 5, 7, T9, 8, 7, 6. All right, cool, got it. Thank you.
Thing to do.
I don't know. I just
don't do it.
I never say no. I'm always just like, okay, cool, got it.
That is bizarre.
Oh, Jesus.
Things people do that I didn't think they did, but there we are.
All right, so I played this a minute ago. We never talked about. All right, Charlotte Pride.
Yes.
It was the first one for all of us in the room.
Yeah.
Kelvin, since you're the newest person here to Charlotte, what did you think?
It was really cool. I mean, a lot of people came. I thought that we were going to walk much longer, much farther, but I will not complain about that. The weather was beautiful. The people were so great. I thought that I was going to feel very shy, just like being literally in the center of the parade, but it was a lot of great energy, a lot of good vibes. And yeah, only one person denied the button that I was giving away, which whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that,
some people don't want stuff.
Wait, do they not want a button like because it said hits, or they just were like, I don't want buttons?
I have no idea. Yeah, he was just did not accept my button.
Yeah.
And I was like,
some
whatever.
People, like, I had
Listen to
one
Miguel and Holly.
that like kind of had a handout, and then I was like trying to put it, and then she didn't really grasp it, and I was just like, just gonna keep going.
You know what I didn't want?
What?
I didn't want to be the new Sesame Street parade.
Oh,
with the little kid not giving it to the kids.
And like not give it like a like to any kid of color or any kid. Like, 'cause, like everything could be, which by the way, I truly don't think that the character that was playing that animal was being racist. I don't think so, because I've been in parade situations like that. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like one of those Sesame Street characters like did something and then like did not give something to like the two little black girls that were there.
Right.
And I don't think that was racist maliciousness.
But have you seen like the other, like there's been multiple videos that have resurfaced that, and this is the thing I hate sometimes with like pop culture, how they'll be like racist, and then you have people that are like, no, it's not, it was just one. And then like I follow the story because I was curious. That's why I don't post when things happen immediately, because I'm like, okay, let's wait until other videos come out. Is there history? But no, like there's literally a class action lawsuit that they're forming.
They're forming a lawsuit?
Yes, because there are multiple videos from multiple angles of whoever's playing some of those characters going past kids of color. Where it's not just that, because it's
so
easily to manipulate that one video,
right?
And that's why
I was like, well, not even manipulate the video. Like I've been in situations and have been called out myself for like ignoring someone when I was like, literally, I was like, my mind is in a different place,
right? Like
I don't have the awareness that someone on a sideline might have. Like you're just on autopilot almost. Right. So that's why I was like, I've been there, and I'm sure that I've pissed some people off because I can't see individuals. You just see a sea, and you're just like, here.
I don't remember anyone's face except for that guy who denied my button, but I don't remember anyone's face giving out the buttons at all.
No.
Well, but I mean, obviously for us, that was like, you know, a once a year type deal. Whereas if you're one of those characters, that's something that you're doing either every day or several times a week. So it just becomes routine. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, obviously they're going to take it to court and see like what the truth is from there. But I do know that if you're looking at multiple videos from also different angles to where it clearly was like, because I think someone said that, I'm trying to think of the original debate of that. that it looked like someone was trying. Oh, behind the black girls, there was someone with a baby that they were trying to like hand the character the baby, and that's why they were like no, and they kept moving. But then someone had a different camera angle, but there was no baby. Like there was nobody there, and when they tried to make that excuse. So, like I said, I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. That's just what I've read. And so, like I said, there's supposed to be some sort of
interested to see. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I would just be curious, like who's in those costumes, you know? Like who are they hiring? Why did
they must go through a very strict process.
Girl, that's how many times with different scandals through the years, like the Kendall Jenner, was it Kendall with the Pepsi thing where she was trying to like stop the protesting with a Pepsi.
No, that was an actual Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, the commercial. And remember when it came out, we were like, was there nobody in the room that said, I don't think this is a good idea, y'all?
There's a writer, there's a producer, there's a cameraman, there's an assistant cameraman, there's
like the craft services people,
all the actors that were there,
every actor, the people that played that, like the soldier or whatever, the police officer, whatever it was, like everybody was on board and was like, this is gonna help,
right? And just everything that I've read about lives like recently that. If you know, like
the about the Kendall Jenner Pepsi,
right? Thing. Remember that could have been something I watched recently. Made me think about that. But if you like political shows, people always at that time would compare or ask like Obama and the people that worked in the White House, is the White House like the comedy Veep with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, where it's like basically everything that happens in politics is like some bumbling mistake where we think it's some big overlord of like things happening, like House of Cards, where everything is orchestrated.
Every move is calculated. Well, I mean, it does seem that way,
right?
Given like everyone's putting like robbing Peter to pay Paul to like get the money in different people's hands and like everything. Yeah.
No, it's like Veep. They're like literally most people are dumb and they shouldn't be in these positions and they don't know what they're doing half the time. And so that's how when, you know, these sort of catastrophes or things happen in the government, we're like, what happened? And they're like, homegirl should not be in this position right now, but she is making these decisions. And so that's how I feel like you get these people that have been hired for these Sesame Street characters that are being potentially, if it comes out in court, racist to these kids.
Why would you even want to get that job if you're racist?
Right. That's a
really
question.
Quick.
That's a question.
A couple of quick, like just really, it's related. Not really, but yes, it is. I saw a TikTok that was explaining how Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian's relationship was just like so orchestrated every single step of the way. And I don't doubt that. Like that's not surprising to me. But what was surprising was this TikToker had all of this evidence on how Kris Jenner manipulates these girls for the sake of the family's PR. Like everyone has a role to play. And it was obviously like Kim and Pete because like shit was going sideways with Kanye. Kim needed whatever. And of course, like, don't think Pete Davidson was like, oh, poor Pete got sucked into this whirlwind. Like, obviously, that relationship boosted his status even more. He's got yet another attractive woman that he's banging, and he's parlaying that into different levels of fame and whatever. And they had somehow it also tied it into what was it? Whatever that relationship like did. Oh, it was the fact that like it was fun and cute and they really did feel something for each other, like a little infatuation when it first started because you saw them all together. But then it kind of like, as friends with benefits situations do, they realized like, okay, obviously this isn't going very far, but Kris needed it to go far enough that it wouldn't make Kim look like a whore because not that she would be. I have no feelings about that altogether. But Kris, you needed her reputation to remain pristine, especially in the wake of what Kanye was doing. And it didn't hurt Pete either. And there was other stuff going on in the family, like the Astro World tragedy. So when that happened and suddenly Travis Barker, when was that? November of last year? I don't remember.
Let me see. Hold on.
Look it up real quick because I'm about to make a point and I'm like, I hope I'm remembering this TikTok correctly.
Let's see here. It was November 5th, 2021.
So Kim and Pete had just really become like a quick little, well, wait, are they dating? And then Astroworld happened, and it was about to be a huge hit because obviously you've got Travis with Kylie, and all of them were there. Kylie was there with her kid.
Oh,
the
that's
other
right.
kids in the family were there. This was very much like, oh my God, look what happened with Travis. Now you turn the lens immediately to the Kardashians, like, and y'all are filming a show. People died. So immediately she's like, Kim, Pete, you're a power couple now. And we're going to focus on you. We're going to bring Flava Flav into a picture while we're showing off our skims. It was so well orchestrated. And then they tried to hide the fact, and they successfully kind of did it, that Kylie was at Astroworld with Stormy. They were like, oh no, she was in Miami. They like orchestrated it and like changed it for the show. And they were like, well, obviously she was in Miami this weekend, and they've orchestrated it so that every time they show Travis on the show with Kylie, he looks like a family man. There's a new baby. Like, she's the ultimate, like, if she ever got into politics, that's a woman that knows what she's doing, because she has manipulated every single thing that we see that we think is like, that's great, like Pete and Kim. What? No, it was,
man, can you find that TikTok? I'd love to play it on the podcast. That's super fascinating.
Yeah, I probably just fumbled my way through that explanation, but
no, but it would be interesting because I'm sure, I mean, it's
connected,
right? You know, I've always thought this, like, Holly and I used to do this all the time back when we were younger. We used to put on the what if bubble, and this is when Holly and I were making $0 and we were in a dire work situation, and all you could do was just be like, oh, what if this happened? And we just, all bets are off. Just what if this happened?
I'm not going to look for it right now. Sorry. Yes.
So what if iHeartRadio put our show on the national stage? Okay. And let's say we were up there with the Ryan Seacrest, the Elvis Duran, the Breakfast Club, the Bobby Bones. You know, those are the big shows in our company. We're just the little tiny baby here in Charlotte. But what if they put us up there on that level? So we're in the national spotlight now, like those people are.
We're in multiple cities.
We have
maybe
opportunities.
Like at least 50 cities. I don't know. That's crazy.
Everywhere. Big cities they have us in. Let's say, and I'm just pulling this out of my ass.
It's the what if bubble. We're in it.
Let's just say there is an arm at iHeartRadio that's in charge of publicity for the big shows. And they say, we want you all to get to the next level of fame, like the Angela Yee and Charlamagne the God and Envy and Bobby and Elvis. So Holly, we're going to, even though we know you're in a relationship, we're going to have you pretend like you're seen at lunch with some 30-something-year-old star. Let's say, I don't know, Bradley Cooper. Let's just say Bradley Cooper's on our show one day and we are interviewing him for some new movie. What if bubble here? What if bubble?
We're in the, okay, got it.
And then we're just going to have you all go to lunch in some of these hot places where, you know, people are seen having lunch, and literally y'all are just having lunch. That is it. But you know, people are going to take pictures and all of a sudden that's going to show up in the tabloids, but that's it. And then you just let the rumor go about. So then when people start talking about you, because this is how the Kardashians became known, that's how you start to get your name on the national level.
Yeah.
Kelvin.
Yes.
We're going to have you seen jokingly having lunch with one of the RuPaul's Drag Race stars, but out of drag.
Okay.
Since you've talked about it, you're a fan. So obviously you're still with your fiance, Oscar.
Yes.
But when you're at lunch, y'all are going to be hugging. Nothing romantic, but when you take a certain angle of a picture, it may or may not look like something's happening.
Right.
And then we're just going to let that go.
Okay.
Would you say yes or would you say no? Holly.
I don't know.
They're just wanting you to go to this lunch. That's it. And then let the rumor run its
course.
course.
So I was going to say yes. And it might still be yes, because I always figure like I'm up for pretty much whatever with this career. Like I've sacrificed a lot of my life for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, I feel like that's just something that happens.
Mm.
But on the flip side, what does that do to your personal life? And I'm already slightly a little bit like just very fame is so scary.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like yes.
You have to answer yes or no because they want to put it into motion. Bradley Cooper's people are ready for it. He has a big project that he wants to pump out, and he knows just going on radio shows and Access Hollywood and stuff like that isn't going to get it. But we have to have some sort of extra buzz to where, because think about it, these are the type of stories that we talk about in trending in the Queen City.
I know.
We're like, oh, Bradley Cooper was seen.
But
blah,
then
blah,
you know
blah.
what happens? Eventually you forget about it. So, okay, I'm going to do it.
Holly says yes, she'll do it. Kelvin, would you do it?
Of course I would. The hell?
Kelvin did not have the
I
internal
didn't
struggle
come to
that I had.
this career to just be chilling. Nah, whore me out to the press.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like
see-
you almost have to say yes if you want to continue in this career.
100%. But also, you know, this is one of those, it's one of those what if questions where like, yeah, of course it's yes right now. And then we really don't know the repercussions
Right.
after.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's what
don't
I'm saying.
know.
I'm like, typically it will go away, but like, what if it leads to a rabbit hole of like, you can't get out? Because why do I feel like Shawn Mendes is in that rabbit hole right now?
Right.
And now Harry Styles is apparently, you know,
This
in
is
that
a
as
good
well.
segue. I'm sure we can segue.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we will. But
But would you do it if something similar happened?
to me,
Yeah, to you, because keep in mind you're committed, and I'm not saying
yes,
that
he
I'm
is.
not, and I'm not saying that Kelvin and his fiance are not, but like you are married. There's a fucking paper. I signed it. So if you do it, the rumor has to be like you were spotted with Michael B. Jordan. But does this mean your marriage is on the rocks?
go ahead and put the headlines up, girl. I will write it for you. Miguel's headlines. Miguel's marriage is on the rocks. What's gonna happen? Spot it with Michael B. Jordan. Girl, bye.
Or Abe.
Bye. No, he would be in on it. See, here's the thing. And this is why I feel like people, you can trash the Kardashians as much as you want, and I do. Please believe me. But there is something to be said for using fame to get what you want. Yes, you don't know how it's going to spin out and what the repercussions are of that. And we've seen it several times with the Kardashians. But if you have the certain amount of savvy to try to control it and to manipulate it, and you always can't, but you can always spin it back because we in pop culture have short memories. And that's why I think I'm so obsessed with watching all these documentaries about things from like 10, 15, 20 years ago. Because I'm like, oh my God, at the time when Holly, Kramer, and Mandy and I were doing a morning show, this was like the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
And we've forgotten about it. You know?
Yeah, it's done. Like, does anybody even truly remember Charlie Sheen's meltdown? Truly.
He went on a whole fucking tour around the country.
It was the only thing I spoke about at the time, what was like called, actually, I don't even know what it's called. Hot in Hollywood or
E-Buzz or something.
E-Buzz or something.
Right.
It gave me material for like probably 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Solid. And it was, you could not miss. Like every day was a new revelation. And it was between Charlie Sheen, Mel Gibson, and Tiger Woods. Those are the top 3 entertainment stories, I think, of my radio career. And I would say Charlie Sheen is probably at the top because it was the story that just kept giving.
And they've all bounced back.
And
Mel
do
Gibson
we-
is in movies again.
Do we remember even Charlie Sheen
Tom
was
Cruise,
like, like Charlie Sheen now playing like the dad that's concerned that his daughter's on OnlyFans. And I'm
Right.
like, you were drinking tiger blood and doing 8 balls of coke.
So that's why I'm
Forget.
saying that,
and
like,
that's okay. Like
Right.
people can change.
Right.
I'm not saying we
Right.
should like shun Charlie Sheen, people can do the work, but it's just this is how it works. I'm using that as an example of this is how short our memories are.
Right. And this is the thing, like for me, and like God forbid we'll publish this and this will be out there forever. And if something ever happens like 10 years from now, someone's gonna pull this clip and be like, well, Miguel said he was gonna manipulate stuff. But to me, this is why I would go down that route, is because sometimes doing the good things don't get the results you want, but sometimes playing with the devil a little bit will get you a place to be able to do the good things, if that makes sense.
So you selling your soul?
No, I'm not selling my soul. Like I wouldn't, I don't know. I don't even know what that would look like,
Right.
but like there are some things that I wouldn't do. But if it was something like that, or like what Kris Jenner has
Like
had the
you sort of take
Kardashians
the
do.
L in the short term to get the long-term W.
Right. Like in order for me to get the scholarship fund that I want to eventually create, I would be willing to take those hits in order to get to that end result. If that makes sense.
It does.
And you know what? It's kind of different. I know this is a subtopic in this conversation, but just bringing back to the Kim Kardashian and the Pete Davidson situation. Now Kim, whenever I posted that they broke up, Kim is now seen as the whore. Whereas Pete Davidson Pete Davidson has also had many girlfriends and also have broken up.
That
with
makes
all
me
of them,
mad.
and that annoys me. So
yeah, that's super annoying because they both benefited and gained from that relationship. And one was not any more guilty than the other for doing whatever it is they did. Like if anything, Pete Davidson out here like sleeping with anything that moves, it seems like he's always got a girl on his arm, whether or not they happen to be one of the hottest women of the planet at the time or not.
Right.
So who cares that Kim was DTF with a BDE? Like that's what happens when you get divorced.
Right. But that's why it's so different for females and males.
100%.
That's why I think it's easier for us to say, yeah, let's do it. And then for Holly, it'll be like, well, Holly, we know that she's in a relationship.
This is what I'm saying.
Bradley.
Like you have to say, like you have to really weigh out, like, what does this mean? What are the repercussions? Where maybe for men, gay men, straight men, bi men, whoever, it may not be. It may be brushed off faster.
Yeah.
Noemi said, man, Pete Davidson's so hot, I'd be DTF.
All right, mama.
And then she said, just kidding, LOL.
I mean, don't LOL, girl. LOL,
yeah,
say what you mean to me, what you say.
You get it, girl. All right.
He does have something about him. And you know why? It's because he's a train wreck and you want to fix him. And he's like kind and goofy and funny. Like who doesn't want to be around somebody like that? But then also if you've got a propensity to try to fix someone, project.
And probably a big dick.
Oh, well, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. That's Harry Styles.
I mean that too, but I don't really care about that as much. I really don't. I don't.
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just
kidding. I am speaking for myself. As a woman, I'm speaking for myself. I feel like the people most obsessed with dicks are dudes.
Absolutely. 100%. Gay, straight.
I'm not speaking for all women. I am not speaking for all women.
Yeah. I mean.
But I think I speak for most when I say I just don't care that much.
Yeah, it's true. I've never heard one of my girlfriends be like, oh my God.
No. I learned this during the 50 Shades of Grey era of our show when we were talking about it. And I got so upset because I'm like, why aren't they going to show his junk, but they're going to show her boobs? And Holly was like, well, girls don't want to see that. And I was like, that's BS. Let's do a phoner now. Call up. And literally, it was like 6 calls, and every woman was like, I don't want to see it. Like, the thought of it is there, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Because I'm fantasizing about it in a different way. Like, we had a very long and in-depth conversation about A to Z, soup to nuts. Like, it was a crazy 2-hour conversation last night with my boyfriend. One of the things that popped out, though, I was like, which is weird because I've been friends with Miguel for like 15 years, almost 14 years. And I know a lot of gay men, obviously. And so I don't know how that played into like what popped out, but I was like, I can't say, I can't. I can say with 100% honesty, and I'm a little bit embarrassed. Like, I feel like everyone's going to be like, come on. I've never ever in my life once wondered and like curiosity got my brain about what a dude's dick looks like.
Mm.
Never in my life have I ever wondered what a dick looks like. I've never seen a hot man because I think men are hot,
Right.
but I've never seen a hot man and been like, I wonder what his dick looks like. Because I don't care. Sorry. I think all women are either bi or lesbians because we don't really care. I mean, I'm again not saying everybody. I know women that are interested in what dicks look like. I got it. But I just don't think it's as big of a deal for women as it is for men. All sexualities of men, by the way, the spectrum.
Juicy little tidbit said, I want to know what it looks like.
I said, there you go. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to paint with a broad brush.
But no, yeah,
Juicy,
there are.
Get it? And that's why I'm saying, like, I know I'm not making a statement for all women.
Right.
But
Yeah,
if I
absolutely.
had to guess, I would say the majority, and it might be a small majority. It might be like 60-40. The 60% don't care.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a female, but I can probably co-sign that. I've only had girlfriends, and it's really just me talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're obsessed with your own dicks.
Yeah.
And you're obsessed with the other people's dicks. Even if you're straight, you're talking about dicks somehow. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
just like,
do a little unofficial poll here on the Miguel and Holly. Don't forget, we're on the Hits 961 Facebook page as well.
Great. We're gonna get kicked. Remember how you said we're gonna be in big cities all around? Not now. Not now. You think Bobby Bones talks about this on his Uncensored podcast? No.
I bet you Elvis Duran does. But he's been
Does he?
around. Yeah, he does, girl. They
He does
They
not.
get pretty
Nasty.
raunchy, actually, on their actual show. Remember, they've been based in New York since the 90s, and he gives 0 fucks. So sometimes when I listen to the Elvis Duran show, I'm like, oh, that's their on-air show. Oh my God. Like, this is not the South, girl.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Noemi said, they all ugly. I want to see it. If you are a woman, do you like to, or do you ever wonder what a man's junk looks like? Say, yes, I wonder, or no, I don't. Laura said, they're all pretty much the same. My only concern was whether it was a grower or a shower. That's where my curiosity ended.
Gotcha.
That makes total sense. No, I always wonder. I wonder now. I wondered yesterday. I wonder in the future. I want to know.
That's a lot of brain space wasted on.
Yeah, no, it's not wasted, girl. Because when you see it, all them little endorphins go, hey, hey. Woo!
I love being right by like other physical features,
right,
like dark eyelids, height.
I just don't have time for
Let's
this
see
mess.
our unofficial poll. Shannon said kind of. Trisha said ill no, but I'm a lesbian. So
Yeah, obviously,
give that a
then,
half
yeah.
point.
Natalie said nope, never thought about it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's so fascinating to me. I want to know all the time.
All
The time. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Okay.
Okay.
That was pride.
Charlotte Pride.
Charlotte
Yeah.
Pride.
Happy Pride.
You got to show me love.
So how was your experience, Holly? Are we
It's
still on
great.
there? All right, let's get to Harry Styles before we get out of here.
Okay.
All right, so if you don't know the controversy, and this is pretty much summed up, I love the parody Instagram account Saint Hoax. I think it's ran by a gay guy, just the way that they post things, but they usually will have a bunch of memes on like whatever the pop culture moment of the day is, or if it's been like a week or something. And so they'll post like funny memes, but then they'll post like, here's the serious issue at hand. So if you go to the Saint Hoax, oh, you know what? I can just,
You can share your screen.
I just thought about that.
Share that screen, girl. Because I was like, I'm going to need to look this up.
Let me hear share. Share screen. Perfect. There we go. Share. All right. Let's see if I can zoom in.
Oh, and you can.
Oh, wait, but it won't.
Okay, I did see this cover of Rolling Stone. Is it Rolling Stone UK?
Yeah.
Where they've got Harry Styles on the cover wearing what looks to be a fur coat with a bare chest, holding a birthday cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yep. He's holding a birthday cake.
And this was controversial, I thought, because on this cover they said something like the new king of pop. And Michael Jackson fans were like, hold on, bitch. No. No. Come at me in another couple decades, Harry, or whatever. You know, they were just, I think there's some validity to that, you know. But that was the only controversy I knew about. So what's the controversy?
So there were some tweets once Rolling Stone started releasing the different covers. And, you know, Harry Styles, you know, paints his nails. He's been on the cover wearing dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And,
he's breaking different stereotypes.
well, one of the
Seemingly.
tweets that this account, Saint Hoax, popped up was, how does he make it look so easy? That's the quote from the article. And then this says, well, when you market yourself to a specific audience, the LGBTQ community, and try to sympathize with their struggles by claiming you're bi, you begin to sell better. I'm tired of his queer baiting and heterosexual self. Someone else responded to that and said, honestly wondering where he is queer baiting. I see someone who's comfortable being himself and doesn't seem to mind getting attention for it. It doesn't feel so harmful to me, but maybe I missed something. And then another person said, I don't think he's necessarily queer baiting, but publications and people are acting like he reinvented gender bent clothing when many queer people had been doing it for generations. He is very queer appealing, and he capitalized on it by getting more work, getting the lead in a queer movie. So that's where the queer baiting conversation has started to pop up. And then they showcase some more tweets and whatnot. But that's basically what the debate has been on Twitter the past couple of days.
I don't love this debate. I mean, I take that back. Any debates are good. But I agree with the third comment you read, I think. Does the first commenter know Harry Styles well enough to know that he's not bisexual?
I mean, I don't know.
Because what I've noticed over the past couple of months is that there has been sort of this undercurrent, and I think it started in June with Pride. Okay. So I noticed that we're seeing a lot more bisexual people come forward and be like, I feel invisible. I feel invalidated by the heterosexual community because I'm not really part of that. I feel invalidated by the LGBTQ community because they're judgmental and they're like, okay, well, it's for women, it's actually one thing, but for men, I think it's a whole other where people are like, are you gay or not? Like, you can't be both. Oh, we can't? Look where we are in 2022. So I feel like to make an assumption that just because Harry happens to be with a woman, and we don't know his scale of bisexuality, it's a misnomer to say that he's queer baiting because that's maybe just who he is. Like, unless we find out for sure 100% he would turn his head from an erect penis because, ew, I don't think you have a valid point because you don't know.
To me, I think I take more issue with the actual publications that praise him for it, because yes, I think it's awesome that you do it. But I mean, like they said, let's go back in history, look at Prince and David Bowie and all those people and whatnot.
Sure.
You know, but obviously, you know, if you are 19, 21 years old and you grew up with Harry Styles, you may not know who Prince and David Bowie is.
You don't.
Cool.
They don't speak to you.
Right. I get it. So for the new generation, yes. I think what I have a problem with how they celebrate Harry Styles is you have a young white pop star who they're like, look at him breaking molds and breaking all these things. When I'm like, well, look at Billy Porter, who's been doing it. Look at RuPaul, who has been doing it since the 90s. And it's like, so many times it feels like in popular culture, they overlook the people of color that have been breaking down those barriers for a long time. So I don't, like, Harry Styles, do you, and thank you for bringing it to the mainstream and showing that it's okay to do that. But before we start handing out trophies and celebrating, like, let's look at the people who said, hey, it's okay for you to do that. Billy Porter has been showing up on red carpets for the past decade doing that sort of thing. But then as soon as Harry Styles is like, ooh, let's experiment with this, then it's like, yes, you are so brave. This is amazing. Now, yes, Harry Styles does, I mean, if you're looking at apples to apples when it comes to like how big you are in pop culture and
I was going to say like a
money-wise.
pop star versus, is it apples to apples or is it apples to oranges? Like, is there a person of color that we would say is at a similar point? Like, and this is not the same, but the person of color that came to mind was like Jaden Smith.
Right.
Who was like out here wearing dresses and skirts on the red carpet before
Future,
Harry
too.
Styles was.
Mm.
I think Future was on the cover, one of his album covers. He was in a dress.
Right. And wasn't it?
So I would hold those up more because that's more apples to apples in the circuit of what we're talking about. And you're right. And I think the media needs to do a better job of raising up these creators and these artists of color who are doing the same thing.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
But I don't know that it's queer baiting, because if Harry says I'm bisexual, but I just happens to be with a woman, does that invalidate his bisexuality?
He's never said that he's bi, though. And that's the craziest part about it, because this happened with Billie Eilish as well. During her documentary, she, like, a lot of her fans were making the Twitter spaces, where they have like audio groups. And they were oh my God, they're just, she's just lying, and she's in love with a girl and blah blah blah. And it's like, how do you know? You're just a stan. Like, stop assuming people's sexuality.
Okay, so let me backtrack then. I thought that we were treating it like fact. So if he hasn't said, then how do we know if it's true too?
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
Right.
I mean, but I
We
guess
don't know.
that's the thing, is that if you're going to try to appeal to that community or look a certain way, like, don't do it unless you are that way, because there are people that actually are walking the walk, that are, trying to be brave and put themselves out there. Like, to me, like, if there was someone that was a radio personality that, would try to make nods to like, well, I'm sort of ambiguous about my sexuality, so you never know if I'm going to talk about being gay or straight or bisexual or whatever, and then like they became known for that, I would be a little pissed, because my whole career has been about me being authentic, me being myself, and me losing out on jobs and money because I live in my honesty and I live in my authenticity, and I go to not just the fun pride parades, but I go to the fundraisers and I mentor kids that are in the closet and that are dealing with these issues. So it's like, if you're going to try to appeal to that community and sort of get clout from what we offer, then you better fucking walk the walk and don't just sort of wink at us and say like, I could be bi, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess
I wish he would be forward with it. Although
He
then it
dodges
goes
the
back
questions.
to that conversation that we've had with, because he is so flamboyant,
Mhm.
is he required to be out?
Right. And that's what I feel like he
There's
keeps
just a lot of
dodging these
angles.
questions.
Right.
He's
right.
he's been dodging.
Because there's
but then
freedom
I'm
of
like,
expression that we all believe in, right? Wear the
Right.
dresses. You don't have to follow these stereotypes, because there's gender and then there's sexuality, which a lot of us believe that there is a difference. But why doesn't it apply to him in this case? But Miguel also brings up a really strong point as well. Like, if you're going to walk the walk, you're going to benefit from the LGBTQ. Why aren't you using your platform to talk about it and be open and honest?
right, you could be helping,
So-
but are you required to do that
No,
as a public figure?
No, I mean, listen, no, there's no contract that you sign that says, hey, if you're going to come out gay, you've got to do all these things. Absolutely not. But you do run the risk of, people saying like, I mean, and I see this all the time on like my alt Twitter that I don't post on, but I just do watch some, stuff.
Some things.
Some nasty things, girl. But like, I see so many straight guys on there that, play with the gay community, like they're never going to post anything with a guy, but they'll like write all these suggestive things and take these suggestive photos. And then when you see, people in the comments being like, hey, I'm paying for your OnlyFans, I want to see you do this sort of material. And they're like, oh no, I'm not gay. And it's like, well, why are you trying to appeal? And and you can tell when they're targeting the gay community and not, women, because there are lots of women who I see that are on Twitter too, looking for that sort of material. But there's a
Yeah.
certain thing that you would put forth if you were advertising for it. So it's like, don't try to profit off of us. I mean, and yeah, you know what? People are going to do what they want to do because they want to get money at the end of the day.
Right.
But just know that at some point you're going to be found out, and then people are going to be like, I'd rather spend my money with someone that I know supports me and understands me than with someone who's just profiting off of me and just, taking that money and having a great life without having to understand the walk that I walk.
Mhm.
Right. And that makes sense. I think it comes into question, like you said, when money comes into it, especially.
Right.
Are you expecting to make money off of this issue that you're dodging, but you're going to reap the rewards? And we also don't know how much his management team has a say in what goes on.
Right.
All I do know is that when you get into the music industry, you do basically sell your soul.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't know. And I wish that he would be in a space where if it was his choice and not some manager's choice, that he would choose to be forthcoming with what he knows at present.
Would we give him a pass if he said, hey, I'm straight. I just love to wear dresses, paint my nails, and call it a day and keep it going?
I'd be fine with that.
Because he doesn't do that.
Right.
He does not do that. He
I
just dodges the
say
questions.
he's straight. Yeah, I
No,
know.
he does not.
He does. He just doesn't want. In fact, he had a whole thing where he said he didn't think it was relevant
Mhm.
to talk about
Right.
his sexuality because it doesn't really matter. And maybe that's what he thinks he's going for. Like, here's what I look like. Everybody always wants to put somebody in a box. Don't put me in a box. And by purposely not telling you where I'm at on this spectrum,
It's like,
you're just going to have to learn to accept me
gotcha.
without knowing the label. Devil's advocate. I don't know.
So there is this show. I'm gonna have to compile a list of shows that I recommend because I watch so many. There is this show with Molly Shannon that was on HBO called The Other Two.
Okay.
And it deals with this young guy who's 13 or 14 who creates this song that goes viral on YouTube. And then he becomes this pop sensation. And then his two sort of older millennial brother and sister that've been trying to make it in the business in some sorts, failed actor, failed agent. They're like, well, I guess we'll try to just, rub off on him. And so then it's it's a comedy, and it's a comedy I like. So it's kind of dark.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the episodes in the second season deals with the brother here, who is gay, who gets in this sort of faux relationship with a guy who's a young Timothy Chalamet, someone of that stature that's becoming the next big thing in acting.
Yes.
And he's all sort of like Harry Styles, where people are like, well, are you gay? You're seen with guys. And he's kind of like, I don't like to be held by definitions. I don't like to be in a box. But all of a sudden, he's seen out and about with the gay brother who is becoming an actor on his own. And so the brother's like, are we going to do it or not? What the fuck? And then he's like, so this is me just trying to get clout. And this is me just trying to I seem more mysterious this way when I don't answer the question, when I'm actually straight. So that's why if Harry Styles said, hey, I'm a dude who likes to dress up, but I'm straight, I'd be like, yes, do it. I'd celebrate you for that. Just to show that you don't have to be a certain way to do that. But when you just try to be ambiguous on purpose, that's when I have an issue.
Right.
Because you're just trying to leave that question mark up there.
Yeah.
I wonder if he thinks he was trying to do something with that.
That's what I'm saying.
you know?
Do you think you were trying to be it doesn't matter?
Labeling people. It doesn't
Stop labeling people,
matter.
because maybe a label doesn't fit.
Right.
And I don't know. Some people don't like a label, even if they are pansexual, bisexual. I find it less probably with straights and gays, but somewhere in the middle, you're I don't really know where I fit. I don't know. It's very complex.
It is.
It is.
And what I don't want, I would not, to your point, Miguel, I would not want him to be capitalizing on a community, queer baiting, for monetary reasons and for
Right.
clout.
Calvin, you have a point? Close out.
Just in general, like even my coming out story, I constantly pushed back on people telling me you're a faggot, you're gay. And it was like, I didn't even know myself. So I wonder if he's in the same predicament as well.
Right.
Yeah, it can be a wrestle with that. Yeah.
You've got to show me love.
All right, we're done. We're out of here.
And I got a pee, so it's been a minute.
I
was like, let's wrap this shit up.
bad.
Oh my God. Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Calvin?
Wait, Miguel, how was your Pride experience? At Kelvin Live.
You've got to show me love.
We're not done, Holly. We're not done.
Bitch, I had taken my shoes off. I put my shoe back on so I could go to the damn bathroom.
No, girl, we're going for another 30 minutes, girl. It's an hour and 30 podcast, girl. This is it. Come on, honey. Mine is Miguel Fuller, MIGELFULLER. I don't know, you know, whatever it is.
Did you spell it right? That's
Probably,
okay.
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm
fine.
done. We'll see you later. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.